Salut tout le monde! Minasan konnichiwa. Hello everyone. My name is Natrina and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little fun. Paris stereotypes. Are they true? Paris is one of the most famous cities in the whole world, okay? And because it's so famous, there are a lot of stereotypes. In my opinion, if they're true or not, based on being, first of all, in France and spending 5 days in Paris alone. Traveling alone really gives you the opportunity to observe and really absorb what you're seeing, rather than if you're with someone or if you're with a group, okay? So I'm going to list all these stereotypes that I have heard and that are quite famous, well known on the media, and most likely you have heard too. We have to talk about number one. Number one, are the Parisians rude? In my opinion, okay, they're not rude. I don't think so, okay? But that's only because, first of all, I spoke French to them. So you do receive a different kind of service when you speak French. I think it's because they're more comfortable. It is their mother tongue, but they're not too kind to those who don't really speak French or who don't put in the effort, at least. Because there are so many tourists in Paris, I can see why the Parisians are just tired of dealing with tourists, okay? It's the same as Japan. Even in Osaka, a lot of people are tired of dealing with, tourists. But the difference is Japanese people, they bottle their emotions in. They don't show it. They don't show how they feel. But Parisians, they do. So that could come off as being rude. And when there's a miscommunication or if there's a language barrier, then they could become frustrated and then they could give off this sort of energy where it's like, okay, this person is being an asshole, when they're just not. I'm just going to take America and France, okay? Because America, a lot of people know America. So the service in America, it's very different. They're always friendly. They're always, customer is always correct type of way of thinking, okay? But that's mainly because the waiters and the waitresses, they have to do that whole ass kissing thing. So they can get really great tips because that's going to be their salary. That system doesn't exist here, yet the Americans are so used to getting a certain type of service, like a friendly, over-the-top, kind service, that they somehow subconsciously think that it's going to be the same in Paris when it's clearly not, So I think you have to open your mind to something could be different, when you go over there. So I'd say go in with an open mind. Some people are just flat out rude, and then so you could just ignore those people. Actually, I met a lot of really friendly people while I was there. And the others, the ones that just look so bored, that's just them. Kill them with kindness, okay? Just because they're rude to you doesn't mean you have to be rude back. It's just me. Unless they're attacking you, you don't take that. This is probably the second biggest stereotype over there after rudeness. Is Paris dirty? In my opinion, is the entire city of Paris dirty? No, I haven't been to the entire city. My gosh. Not every place in Paris is dirty. Actually, most of the places that I went to for those 5 days, it was really clean. It was very beautiful. Loved it. Okay. Of course, they have their dirty areas. Just don't go there. That's my opinion. All the places that I went to, Tour Eiffel, Notre Dame, Pont Alexandre, Jardin de Luxembourg, all those places were very pretty, very clean. Louvre, very pretty. Okay. It's just like any other major city or a capital city. Even Tokyo, we have dirty areas and clean areas, okay? These people who say, are the streets in Tokyo as clean as they say? Of course, Some of those streets are very clean, but not all, okay? And Paris is the same. You have your extremely dirty, yucky areas, and you have your very clean and beautiful, pretty areas. So my answer is no. If you ask me, is Paris dirty? No, but they do have dirty areas, and they do have pretty areas. Is Paris truly the city of romance? No, get that out of your head, okay? That's only in the movies. They really romanticize Paris. Sure, I think Paris is one of the best places to go as a couple, I think, because there are so many things you can do as a couple over there. Really enjoy your time. And it's a gorgeous city, very beautiful city. But is it the city of romance? No, I don't think there's such thing as a city of romance. First of all, what is city of romance? That is my question. But no, it's not rainbows and butterflies and hearts in the air. No. City of romance is just some made up BS that they put in the movies. Are there many smokers? Yes. That is one thing I really hated about Paris. There are a lot of smokers where I am here too, but it doesn't top Paris. People smoke so much there. I was standing in line at the Louvre outside. We were standing in line, okay? We weren't out and about in the open. We were in line. This a-hole decided to just smoke in the middle of the line. Never sighed so hard, and I hate the smell of smoke. It's so disgusting. Just know that you're going to encounter that, because the answer is yes, there are many smokers. All right, next one. Parisians don't speak English. Not all. A lot of them do. They don't speak it well, so they prefer not to use it as much as possible. And they'll always say it. I've met so many people, I speak to them in French. They know that I'm trying, and then they always compliment, my skill, which is really nice. And then they always tell me, sorry, my English is not really that great. So a lot of these people, their English is really not good. So they don't have any confidence in their ability. So they get embarrassed too. Embarrassment it's not a great feeling. So how they deal with it, they may come off as rude. Yeah. Do they speak English? Yes, but not well. Okay, next stereotype. Are the Parisians fashionable? No. They're not fashionable. Not in my opinion, they're not. They dress like any other Westerner, in my opinion. If you go to those shopping areas, like near the opera, you'll see better dressed people. But as a whole, no, they're not really fashionable at all. Especially the young people. The young people, sometimes they come out with like pajamas. If you're gonna come to Paris with a whole new wardrobe, save it, because actually it might have an opposite effect, because you could draw so much attention to yourselves if you're dressed seriously from head to toe. That could give people to target you, like scammers, pickpocketers. So think again when you're going to pack what you're going to wear. Think again. This is such a hilarious stereotype, but I think I should mention it. Do the Parisians smell? That's so funny. I think so many people smell all around the world. Yeah, they kind of smell. Not everyone, but a lot of them do. Sometimes you'll walk past some people and you're like, ugh. You could run into a few people who kind of have the funk. Most important thing is for you not to smell. So, do the Parisians take long lunches? I think so. Yeah, pretty long. It depends on what your standard of long is. But for Japan, we're pretty strict in our time. So to me, I think it's pretty long. Actually, more than lunches, they have late dinners. I don't understand how they have such late dinners. What do you eat in between? Don't you get hungry in between? I just don't understand. They open their restaurants at like 8 p.m. I'm like, I don't want to have dinner at 8. I'm a 6:37 girl. This is a pretty big stereotype that I think a lot of people know the answer to. Do the Parisians or do the French hate Americans? After being here for some time, yeah, they do. I have a story because it kind of gave me a clear answer as to why the people hate Americans. I went to an Asian restaurant. It was like the counter type. So I was sitting down and there was a seat next to me that was open. There was another guy next to that open seat. And these two women, older women, came by. They're Americans. One of them sat down next to the guy, and then there was a seat next to me that was open. And so I just looked at them, and then I was like, oh, do you want to sit here since this one's open? They said, oh, thank you. You're so sweet. So we switched. So I ended up sitting next to the guy, and then they sat in those two seats. And then after a while, the two women, they wanted water. And before, I noticed on the menu, they had water on the menu. And so they charged for water. But obviously, I don't think the women noticed that. So they asked for water. And the waiter, there was only one waiter, and he spoke pretty good English. But it was only him who was dealing with all these, customers. And so anyway, the two women were like, excuse me, can we have some water? And then he said, sure, would you like it in bottle? Something else, I kind of forgot. And then they looked at him like, huh? They just kept repeating, no, we just want water. So he repeated the question again. They were so tired of that. They're like, can we just have water? So he said, like, tap? And then she said, yes, tap water. Like, geez, kind of like that kind of attitude. And anyway, he brought the water. And then after a while, our meals came and we were eating. And then I could hear one of the women say, I want soy sauce. So she asked for the waiter again. Waiter came by and then she said, can we have some soy sauce? And he said, yes, we have sweet or salty. She looked at him like he had two heads. And she was like, I just want soy sauce. And then he said, yes, but we have sweet and salty. Which would you prefer? And she got so frustrated. She said, I just want soy sauce. Just bring me soy sauce. So he said, okay, so salty. She said, whatever. He leaves, and then she mutters, but loud enough, she mutters, geez, what an idiot, And the guy next to me, he looks up and he looks at them. So I wasn't sure if he could understand English, but the fact that he looked up when they said that told me that he understood that. I looked at them and I was thinking, geez, this is why, Parisians hate Americans, because you set such a bad example. This is what you guys do. This is how you behave. You can't behave like that over here, You came to a country that's completely different from your own. So you're going to encounter different things, different customs, different rules. Don't be too shocked, okay? You could be shocked at the fact that it's very different, but kind of go along with it. And if it's something that you're not into, then leave. Don't stay. Find something else, Last stereotype. Is the Eiffel Tower truly amazing? My answer, no, I don't think so. It's just a tower, but it is beautiful. It's gorgeous. Of course, it's worth seeing. It's not truly amazing, in my opinion. At night, if you want to look at it at night, it looks better at night. It looks very beautiful. You look at it and you're like, wow, that's so cool. How people regard it, as truly amazing. No, I don't think so. Seriously, the first time I saw it, it was in the daytime. I looked at it, I went up close and I looked at it and I was like, wow, that's huge. But, it really just is a piece of metal. That's what I said out loud, literally to myself. It is beautiful. It is cool to see. It's worth seeing. But is it truly amazing? No, I don't think so. So that concludes today's video on Are the Paris Stereotypes True? I hope you guys enjoyed that. This is seriously just my opinion. So over time, my opinion may change if I continue to visit Paris more often. But that's my opinion for now. And I hope it gave you a better understanding on Paris and the city itself. If you guys have any comments or questions or your own opinions, please feel free to share it here. I want to thank you for joining me today on this video, and I'll be doing others on Paris. There is one that I did before, so please feel free to check that out. Thank you guys so much again. Have a great day. Bye.